Like the fact that it's like Commando level 1, and I've got everything there, so I can't do anything else to give him any stats. Aside from, like, I guess maybe upgrading, like, the weapons and stuff, but, like, sometimes that's a little... Like, that's a little pricey. Like, you gotta make sure you're fighting and you're actually getting items. If you're not getting items, you can't sell them. If you can't sell them, you can't buy upgrade materials. So it's like... They really, like, cap you. So, like, I can definitely understand where you're coming from, where, like, this is kind of like a... Meh. Like, mine was, 12 is really the one I kind of, like, don't like as much. Did I say 10 or 12? I meant 12, if I didn't say that. But, like, I still like 12, I just, like, the combat irks me a little bit in 12. Just where it's exactly like an MMO, where, like, it's just the well, I guess you still have to click the button unless you set up the gambits. But, like, just the constantly being in combat and being a little bit of a hassle to try and actually do any abilities. Yeah, like that's, but like that's the offshoot. At least in 12, you're able to level grind. But like I don't understand why they did that. Like it literally, like the level thing. Yeah, the only thing I hated about 12 was the traps and status effects. Oh my god, the traps and status effects. Yeah, like the especially the main two. Like it wouldn't even be the traps as much if it weren't for the status effects. But like the big thing was like sap and disease. Like those were never status effects in any Final Fantasy up until 12, and I don't think they brought them back. But like the fact that sap was just there and it's just constantly draining your health, constantly draining your health, constantly draining your health. And then especially if they, like, you ended up getting sap and disease at the same time, because disease makes it impossible for you to heal. And the status effect didn't go away after you died. So you're just sitting there with fucking... not be, like, you get revived at 1 health, and you can't heal yourself. So, like, if you ended up getting, like, disease on all of your characters, it's like, the fuck? Yeah, like the game was very much status effect and then level and skills. Like, don't get me wrong, like I leveled up really, really high. Like I did some ridiculous grinding. I think I had, why am I forgetting, Vaughn? I think that was his name. Fuck. I played it not that long ago, less than a week ago, but I had him at level 90 when I beat the game. So like I was still a fair level, but, like, I also had, like, okay gear. Like, I pretty much had the best stuff you could really buy. But, like, 90% of the time through that game, I really didn't use any magic or skills at all. The only thing I would really use was, like, mist. Like, the mist abilities when things would get, like, a little tough just to, like, take huge chunks off of people. Oh yeah, after you get missed, like any big boss monsters kind of like are a cakewalk. Like 100 damage. The only thing that I didn't like about like the new release of it, like when they released the I meant to do slash and burn. Oops, no wonder they weren't going down so quick. But the only thing that really bothered me about like the newer version of it is the fact that they capped off the licensing board. Like, don't get me wrong, I like. You know, they gave people, like, the jobs and stuff like that to make it a little bit more, I guess, like, class-based, kind of. They kind of, like, capped everything off instead of having, like, the full open license board and being like, well, where is all these magics? Where are the things that deal specifically with, you know, magic-based classes or, like, black mage-based classes and stuff like that? They kind of, like, sectioned it off. But, like... I'd rather the fact that you could just walk through everything to get all the extra buffs for things especially since they added, like, you being able to get 2 licenses anyways. So it's like, if I want to do magic and attack, it's like, why not give me all of the buffs for, like, even if they sectioned off, like, the magics and stuff when you picked classes, but, like, the fact that you couldn't get all of the magical buffs and stuff like that, like, it was kind of like, eh. But, like, say it, like, same thing, yeah, it was dumb, but still better than the original. Yeah, like, I can understand why it was better, like why they changed this. Because, like, it comes back to the thing that, like, irks me a little bit about some of the Final Fantasies in general, where because, like, all of the original Final Fantasies up until, like, 6, it was always, like, class-based. It was always, like, this person has a specific role to play. Like, you have your black mages, your thieves, your fucking white mages, your summoners and stuff like that. And sometimes they'd, like, cross them a little bit, so you could do, like, a little bit with, like, of something else with one character. But, like, they didn't make it so that everybody was everything, because then it makes having different characters, the Sphere Grid. Yeah. But the licensing board was definitely a downgrade from the Sphere Grid for sure. But, like, then 7, 8, 10, they all, like, the thing that kind of irked me about those games, and don't get me wrong, I love all of them. 8 is one of my favorite Final Fantasies. But, like, the fact that in, like, especially in, like, 7, 8, and 10, more in 10, was the fact that everybody could be every single class and have every single ability. There was no specialization. So it really didn't fucking matter who had what or who was in your party. Aside from Yuna being the only unique one, because she, sorry. Yeah, pretty much Yuna, because she had the summoning abilities. Like, I guess you could make kind of an argument for Kilmari, but, like, it still dealt with his limit break. The fact that he was basically a blue mage and could still steal enemies' abilities. But, like, for the most part, like, 10. Once you got far enough in the game, switching between people didn't really matter. What do you mean by the level match system?
You just go to sleep already.
But yeah, like, I liked the junction system was really neat, and the draw system was really neat, but I can also understand why people hated it at the same time. Because having to, like, draw your magic from things meant that if you were equipping them on something... Oh, there is a very easy way around that, man. It's not 100% a level match system. I can't remember because I've heard both sides of this. One, I've seen people say that the enemies match Squall's level, or the enemies match the combined level of your party. So all you have to do is keep one of your, like, core team that you tend to use at levels at base level. And, like, where if you get Final Fantasy VIII on Steam, they actually have a trophy for not leveling Squall up at all. And it makes the difficulty of the game drop substantially. So if you literally level everybody else up, except for Squall, then the overall level of your party drops, and drops the level of the enemies. There's, like, not a lot of people that know that, but, like, well, I want it more difficult. Yeah, so, like, if you want more difficult, then just fucking, jab everybody's levels through the roof.
I'm not gonna make any promises.
Shaky boy, aren't you? We'll see how long that lasts.
But, like, at the same time, yeah, like, they match your level more or less. But, like, the second you get, like, decent enough magic for your junction system, it really doesn't matter at all, because then you're just doing, like, ridiculous amounts of physical damage. Or, like, if you if you put like max death on your status effect for your weapon, you're like either doing like ridiculous amounts of damage or they're just instantly dying.
He's come to meet you.
Fun though, getting the last weapon, disc 1, doing all the card modding and stuff. But that's what I mean. Like 8 definitely had like a lot of workarounds for like making it easier for yourself. Like whether it be like you're saying there, getting like your final weapons on disc 1, or like they're like the junction system, or just not leveling like one character to drop the entire average of all of the enemies. Another thing to make it really easy to just like mass level yourself really early in the game, because if you go to the beach just outside of Balam Garden, it's really easy to gain levels there. Oh, 100%. Like 8 was one of my favorites, but like it gets a lot of hate for like some of the stuff they did, like they tweaked a little bit. Like the magic system, I feel, was like something that really, really threw off a lot of people. That, and it was very much more like technological than fantasy based. Like even ones like this where there's a lot of technology in it, it's still like when you get down like Ed of the Cocoon and stuff like that, is very, very like fantasy oriented, even though there's like a lot of technology. Same with like 6. 6 was like all steampunk, but it's like highly fantasy with some technological aspects. And I find like 8 was one of those ones where it was like very, very modern and very, very technological. So I think that also threw people off. I find 9, the remastered, I got it on Steam Chaos, so it's probably the newest or remastered one. I'm not sure if they remastered 13 or not. I can't remember. But yeah, like I find 9 kind of went more back to like the core basis of what they were doing before, like pre-7, where like everybody was very unique and specific in their own way, which I really, really enjoyed when they brought that back. Looks way better than I remember. It's on PC, so it might be that. But like also it could be the remaster. I'm not 100% sure on that at the moment. I'll let you know after stream. I'll send you a little. I'll mention it in the Discord. PC. Well, my PC is home and set up. Well, there you go. But yeah, like 9 went back to the original system they had, which made me happy. And then 10 started off that way. Like when I started playing 10, and like, don't get me wrong, I really like 10. 10 is good. But like when I first started with 10 and they started, finally got it in the mail. That's fucking awesome, Chaos. Yeah, well, I love the music for all Final Fantasy, really. Like, well, anything from Square. Like, if you look at any Square game in general, like you know, their music composer for Square is just like peak RPG music. But yeah, like when I started playing, but yeah, back when I started playing 10, and they started introducing you to the characters, like anytime you got into combat, it made it seem like they were going back to that, where they're like, you know, here's Wakka, like, he's really good at hitting these flying enemies, like, that's fucking awesome, he's good for ranged combat. And then it's like, I almost said Zidane, because we were talking about 9, but Titus, or Titus, whichever way you wanna talk about, say his name, is like, he's good with the really fast enemies on the ground. And then Lulu came in, it's like, oh, like, she's good for, like, the slime enemies and things that are, like, weak to magic. Perfect. Auron comes in, he's good for, like, heavily armored enemies. And, like, they started going like that, it's like, oh my god, like, this is really cool. And then it's like, you see the sphere grin, it's like, okay. And then it's like, oh, later on in the game, you're like, oh, I can just be every one of these anyways. And, like, for certain things, like, you know, Wakka seems to still have his thing for the far away enemies, which is fine. And, like, but then you can put stuff on weapons that get rid of Auron's uniqueness. Eventually, everybody can use magic, which gets rid of Lulu's usefulness. Riku keeps hers because she can still dismantle most mechanical enemies just by stealing. I'm trying to think if anybody else has any usefulness that they keep. Not really. Haven't ever finished 10? What got you? What stuck you on 10? I find like once you get, I guess, used to 10 enough. But I guess like Final Fantasy is my jam, so I tend to figure out like the easiest ways to get things done right away. It's probably the nostalgia, but I think 6 is objectively the best. I can definitely, like, I feel like that tends to be a lot of people's answers for anybody, like, who gets into RPGs. The first chameleon-looking summon you fight. Chameleon-looking summon. I'm trying to remember who that is now. Because obviously Valfor you start with. I thought Ifrit was next. I can't even remember who that is now. But yeah, like most people when they get into RPGs, it's usually the first one they play that like they get that like Ixion, the horse. But then they get like that nostalgia for it. It always tends to be their favorite of something. Anima? Oh, maybe. Is that the one that's got like the upside down and downside part chaos? The one that like got like the two demony halves? Been a while since you played. Yeah, big fish. 7 is your favorite next to 8 and 10. Like, I love 7, and like I understand people's love for 7, but 7 is definitely like, it's definitely in one of my top 5s for Final Fantasy for sure, but it's probably on the lower end for me just because like I understand why people like it, but I find it's overhyped in my opinion. Just because like it was the first one that a lot of people played because it was the first one with a friggin' the first one with a commercial, stuff like that. Final Fantasy 3, now Doodle, are you talking about 3 Super Nintendo or the actual 3? I'm not good with the materia system in 7. Oh, okay. The remake 3DS? Okay, perfect. So you're talking about original 3, like, out in Japan. Because anytime somebody says 3, I'm like, do you mean, like, actual 3 or, like, 3/6? Because a lot of people don't get that sometimes. What confused you about the materia system for 7? Like, what was the thing that was tripping you up for 7? Just because I've beaten 7 so many times, I've pretty much got that down to a science at this point. A lot of times you don't even really need the materia for 7, like, especially base game. Base game 7, as long as you have a decent, like, a healing materia on everybody, you have at least one person with each type of element, just in case. But, like, once you start training people and get them to, like, up a certain level, because if I remember, well, you'd have to use the materia system for this strategy, but you can beat 7 at level, like, 40 or 50, if I remember correctly. Spent over 250 hours playing 3. Currently working on 16. I actually haven't gone through 16 all the way through. I started 16, but on stream, but then I was like, I'm in the middle of doing all of the Final Fantasies in a row, so I stopped, and I'm going to wait until I get to 16 to finish it off, because I'm doing every single Final Fantasy, and I'm doing every single Star Ocean right now, so like yesterday I was doing Star Ocean 3, because that's the one we're on there. And that's what we'll be playing tomorrow. But I'm going to be alternating between Star Ocean and Final Fantasy, going through each of them until I beat them. So I'm waiting on 16. I played a little bit of it. Like, I'm still really, really close. I think the
point.
last...
You watch our backs.
We're still around the part where you beat, I think it's Garuda, the wind one.
Why don't you let me
I'm
take
probably butchering that name. Just trying to figure out which materia works best with others. This is 13 Chaos. But yeah, the materia system, all it is, there's not really working better with them. It's literally just they get used for what they're needed for. Like, you know, you get your fire, you level that up till you get really good fire magic, lightning ones for good lightning magic. It's just to use them against specific monsters. Like, enemy skills are really good if you can get some decent enemy skills, but the only problem with that is they have to be used on the person with the enemy skill materia. Summons are good at the start of the game until you get, like, the really, really good ones, like Knights of the Round and stuff like that. But once you get strong enough, like, attacks, you don't really need summons at all. Same with, like, the magic. Magic is pretty much only really good until you get to enemies that are, I guess, like, weak to magic. And, like, resistant to physical damage. What are the... Oh, I don't have a lot of those. Oh, I better check the accessories for these two first. But yeah, like, other than that, like, obviously the HP and MP ups are really good. The harder... The more difficult summons to get, just because they're really strong. Like, Knights of the Round. Knights of the Round is always good to have. But, like... Peregrine Shift System. I had an amazing build for Lightning, Snow, and Hope. I've been hearing that a lot while playing 13, is there's a lot of people that are very into using Hope. I find in the remake of 7, the adding magic to your physical attacks is very overpowered. 100%, 100%. And, like, you can do that in original 7, too. There's, I forget what the name of... I forget what the name of the materia is in 7 for doing that. But there is a materia that when whatever weapon or accessory you have on has, like, a line in between it, you can match that up with one of the magics that you have, and it adds it to it. Hope has the best healing abilities when you get his crystal. Oh, okay, okay. Which is probably why a lot of people are saying that they like using him. I'll have to keep that in mind, especially late game. Do I have any antidotes? No, I do not. So I'll get a couple of these just because, you know. Thank you for the share there, Numbers. Fractured thumb playing Rebirth during the Final Combat Simulator. Yeah, like there's a lot of dodging in that. The platinum hurt me bad. Oh my god, I understand that. The fact that you platinum that game is a fucking that's a feat right there. I really watched how you could only set an action class and not control everyone. For 13, like, are you talking about 13 right now? Will easily out DPS all other characters set up properly until she dies. Oh, I can understand. I love getting to my platinums too. I'm currently sitting at 27 platinums right now. So, like, I'm with you there. Like, I love getting my platinum trophies. Oh, I only got enough for 2 bastards. So, like, especially when I see games like that, I definitely props for sure. Oh, I should just dismantle them. Fuck, why was I not dismantling them instead of fucking buying shit? Rebirth. Oh, okay. Radiant, yeah, Radiant Ward. Oh, no, I definitely understand that. Like, I'm trying to think of what my favorite accomplishment for Platinum is. I'm below average game who just loves 7 more than most things in the world. 2 Platinums, Remake and Rebirth. Like, just those two platinums in general is like a big accomplishment. You can say average, like I'm guessing you meant gamer instead of game, but but like you can say you're an average gamer there all you want. I have played Last Hope. I've beaten every Star Ocean except for like the phone game, and I think there was one mobile game they came out with for like one of the handhelds. But I've played all like the mainline series for console. I've beaten them all. I've never really had a problem. But like I find where they've put them out on the newer consoles, they crash a little bit. Like we're on Till the End of Time right now, and obviously when I had it on PlayStation 2, it never crashed. Blue Sphere, yeah, that's one of blue. It was Blue Sphere, and there's one that starts with like an A, I think. It was like a card-based one. Yeah, no, those two trophies are like a big earn. I don't have those trophies right now. Okay, I thought it was one of the older handhelds. But like I have my GBC. Oh, okay. One or the other. I have original 7 with the platinum trophy, so like I got all the mastered materias. I got my date with Barris. I've beaten it once. When I tried to play it again later, it kept freezing on you. Were you playing it on console or were you playing it on console or like PC, or what were you playing it on? And what console? Because man, I'm getting a lot of these fucking Twitch bots asking me if I wanna buy fucking cheaper viewers. Just give me 1 second there, everybody. Just gonna block this person right quick because they're fucking morons. $360. Oh, okay. Don't like 13 high? They're like, oh no, 13. I can definitely understand some people's problems with it, though. Yeah, 360. It might be like the port, because I know, yeah, because I don't think Star Ocean was on. I don't think it was on Xbox for a while. I know it obviously was on PlayStation because it's been on PlayStation for fucking ever. But I don't think they ported it over for a while, so it might just be like a bad port. Finally gained a command level. Fucking sweet! Oh, you just got medic. I didn't even fucking realize you had medic lightning. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so it might have just been a bad port. But like at the same time, like when they oh no, it would have been around the same, because Integrity and Faithlessness was, I think, placed. Oh no, it might have been PlayStation 3.
No, I haven't.
The hardback strategy guide on my shelf. Oh, okay.
You scared?
Not really.
But you have your problems with it though. Is that what I'm getting the hint at?
To keep you safe.
Here, take this small knife. Forget your boomerang.
I'll want it.
Was wanting to like it. I can understand. It is. That's campy. That's one of the things that is my gripe about this game. I like the story, and like the combat system for it is very unique in comparison to like the other turn-based Final Fantasies. But like the fact is, you can't. The copy I have now keeps telling me the disc is dirty or damaged. Okay, that might not be the. That might be either a console problem, or it might be the fact something's wrong with the disc. Though it isn't a single blemish. Is there, like, there's nothing on the bottom or the top of the disc? But yeah, like, this game is very, very straightforward and linear until the end game. It's kind of one of the things I don't like about it. Because you can't really go backwards until, like, end game. Same with, like, the leveling system. like there's no levels in this game at all. It's the Crystallarium. So what it does is it gives you a breakdown of all of, like, there's the 3 classes that he has right now, and eventually you get all of them for everybody. But, like, basically it's this. You get points, and you slowly build them up. But, since I have Lightning's finished for Commando right now, eventually it stops. So, like, I have the roll level right there, and I can't go any higher in Commando until later on in the story. So, unlike any of the other Final Fantasies where you can just keep leveling yourself to get stronger, it caps you off. Like, I could train until I get every single thing in these grids right now, and then I can't add anything else to them until I get to a certain point in the story, which irks me a lot. Same with, like, where the story is like, there's no going back. Like, there's no visiting other places. You're going so far until you get to, like, almost endgame, and then the world opens up a lot. Same with, like, the Crystallarium. But, like, it adds a little bit of a challenge, so, like, it's a 50-50 for me.